So how would you describe the purpose of copyright? Like what exactly does it do? What's it for?
What's the purpose of copyright?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's okay. I mean, that's if you don't know, that's the answer, right?
To protect the artists or authors.
Can you speak up?
Just to protect the author's intentions and what he intends to write.
It is to protect the financial interests of someone who came up with an idea.
So nobody else steals what somebody originally created?
I would say that the purpose of copyright is to make sure that works created are not used illegally. Like if someone comes up with an original idea or thought or some sort of original work, then they should get credit for it, always.
I would say that copyright is mainly so people don't try and take other people's ideas.
I guess my opinion on that is it's supposed to protect the person who's invented or who's come up with a basic idea. So copyright is supposed to basically give them, I guess, premise or ownership of it, the actual idea or invention or whatever it is, basically.
To make sure that someone can't take what's yours and that you brought of yourself. And basically for someone not to take something that you worked for.
To protect someone's work.
Okay.
Against, I think, well, mostly it seems for profit, but also for artistic integrity.
Copyright is the right of the person who, actually I have to think about this, right of the person who created the copy to benefit from it and protect them.
Basically, I think it's to protect, publish, publish works and whether music, books, or plays, whatever, so I think that's the purpose of it.
I guess copyright's supposed to provide a limited monopoly on a specific expression of ideas to encourage creativity so that, someone is, in the short term, has an incentive to create something.
To protect people's property, written and otherwise.
In my vision, it's mostly like for protection from the, artist, like point of view.
Okay. And when you say protect, you have in mind protection from some danger. What danger would that be, or dangers?
Yeah, protection from somebody else, maybe getting a hold of their idea and claiming it as their own. Or protection from, I guess like why the word copyright exists, so that you have basically I guess protection is the best word to use,
Or claiming that it was theirs and using it to make money off of it.
The danger of other people using it without the original person getting any credit.
Anyone actually taking your, I won't say idea, but your exact writing or published, feature, whatever.
Okay. Do you have any idea how long copyright has been around, under what circumstances it was created, or by whom?
I don't.
I have no idea about that.
Okay.
I would imagine that it probably came about in the early 20th century, but that's just a guess.
I don't know.
I'm going to guess Benjamin Franklin. That's a guess.
I really don't. I don't know how long it's been around.
I don't know. I know like it's been around for years, but the date and who invented it, no, I don't know. Maybe you can tell me.
100 years?
No clue. I suspect a long time, but I couldn't begin to tell you.
Probably, 1940s, 1950, yeah.
Okay.
Crying out loud. I've seen books that copyright goes back as far as the mid-30s.
Well, I know that it's in the Constitution that Congress is supposed to enact laws, so I guess it goes at least that long.
Okay. And do you have friends or know people who engage in internet file sharing, like downloading songs and movies from other people on the internet? Yeah?
Yes.
I do know a few, yeah.
I know mostly like college kids do it.
Yeah.
zones?
No, most everybody I know does it the legal way. I couldn't really tell you anybody that, off the top of my head, that I know downloads illegally or steals music.
No,
Absolutely.
I have no possession of it. This is true. But I do have friends that do that. They go off the internet, get it for free, you know.
Yeah.
There are websites to get stuff for free because money's tight these days.
Absolutely.
Movies. Yeah, I'm not asking if you do. 'Cause I
Sure,
don't
yeah,
want to take
absolutely.
your risk,
Tons
but-
of people. Everybody
Yeah.
does.
How do you feel about it?
You know, honestly, I guess I have some mixed feelings about it because, on the one hand, you know, the big media companies, I'd sure like to see them get screwed, and the idea that somehow they're standing up for the artists is just hogwash, you know, since they've done everything they can to screw the artists all along with, you know, curious accounting and stuff like that. But at the same time, you know, I can see that if you were just a smaller independent, it could, you know, run into, you know, problems.
I have mixed emotions about it. I mean, I suppose morally I would think that I think that it's wrong, but it's one of those things that's just like there. Sometimes it's just easier, I would imagine.
Not a really strong feeling.
Yeah, I really haven't thought about it, honestly.
If it's popular music, the artist probably doesn't see that big of a profit from it anyway. It's fairly small, and most of the money is probably seen by the label anyway. The sharing that goes on leads to CD sales anyway. If it's an artist on a small scale that's being protected, it makes more sense.
I'm an artist myself, and if I were to create something and feel like I'd want to get paid for my work, I wouldn't want it to be given away for free. You know, so I totally understand how per se a musician would feel if his or her music were being stolen or basically given away for free when they could be getting paid.
I try to give credit to anybody. I use slides in my sermons, and I try to be very, very careful and sensitive to it. But I know there are times when I am abusing the copyrights.
I think that's the modern sort of a stealing from people, not directly. So if you put it like you walk through the Giant or food store and put something in your bag, that's the same thing to me as like people, you know, stealing files and like songs or pictures or whatever through the net.
That Google search for images, I'll tell you, it's right there.
Personally, I read the books. I don't try and take someone's idea, but that's just because of the way I was raised.
I don't know, like I had mixed feelings. Originally when like people first started doing it, I thought it was unethical because like the artist wasn't getting compensated for it. But I guess like it's become normal almost, you know? And so it doesn't seem like that big of a deal anymore. And then you hear that like artists get a lot of their money from other sources, so it's really not hurting them all that much. So.
This might counteract what I just said, but I believe that it may not be morally right, but okay. But I think that if technology allows you to do that, then if you want to expand your music collection, go for it.
Okay. And the last question is kind of open-ended. Do you have any general thoughts about copyright or about people's relationship to copyrighted works in the copyright system that you want to share?
Things are shifting right now, and like media companies really don't know how to handle it, so they're just trying to clamp down, like, oh, you can't file share, you can't do that. When really I think what's going to end up happening is how people make money off music is going to be really different in another 10 years, you know, and it won't be the CD for $18.
I think it's really funny that the people who are the strongest activists against music sharing are the ones who have made the most money off of it already. Like, let's see, the guy from Metallica is a big activist against it, and it doesn't make sense. Why does he feel so strongly about that if he's already made money off of his music?
I think that it's really important for things like books and manuscripts and stuff, because people like that don't make a lot of money traditionally. There's a lot of people who try to be writers or musicians or whatever and don't make a lot of money, and they actually do make something original, they should get credit for it.
I think it's fairly meaningless to a lot of people. And I think it's there for a good reason now. I guess the question is, does it need to be relooked at it in the basis of the time and the technology that we have, and do we either need to be better educated, or do the laws need to be changed? So it's one I think at least everybody should struggle with every day. Do they? Probably not.